Welcome. This is Romans. We're going to be in Romans chapter 12, finishing up with Romans 12, maybe get into Romans 13 tonight on Christians' response to government. And this is part 7 in our class on Romans, the third semester. So as we begin our class tonight, though, I'd like to ask if Audrey, could you please lead us out in prayer as we please begin tonight? Okay. Huh? We already prayed for this class. Oh, okay. We prayed before the quiz. That's right. We prayed for the quiz. Okay. So we need maybe extra prayer, but we'll just keep praying without ceasing. All right. So let's begin in Romans chapter 12, verse 8. And let's start back with Neil. We could all be ready. We're going to read the verses one by one rather than read them all through. We're going to read them one by one tonight. So if you could please read verse 8 for us, Neil.
The one who exhorts in his exhortation, the one who contributes in generosity, the one who leads with zeal, the one who does acts of mercy with cheerfulness. Okay, so this verse in itself, Paul he's listing spiritual gifts. He tells us of exhortation and giving, which we talked about last week. And then number 6 in your notes, that's where we're starting here, right? Correct?
Yes.
Number 6 is leadership. Leadership, where he says, he that ruleth with diligence. So leadership is often defined as the ability to influence. And it requires what? What does it say? What is that verse? He that leadeth, let him do it with diligence. Leaders are able to clarify and communicate purpose and direction of a ministry in a way that attracts others to get involved. Someone has well said, he who thinketh he leads, but no one is following, is only taking a walk. That's actually pretty good. So leadership is influence. And that's a spiritual gift. Some people have a gift of leadership. But that doesn't mean you can't learn to lead, because all of us are going to lead on the other hand.
That's
8. He that ruleth, in the King James, with diligence.
Okay.
Okay? And then number 7 is he that showeth mercy. So 7 is mercy. This is the ability to detect hurt with a cheerful spirit while caring for those who are suffering in the body of Christ. Ministers, the one with mercy ministers cheer and comfort to the afflicted. Now, how might someone with the gift of mercy so exercise that gift? How do you work out that gift? If somebody has a gift of mercy, what would they do? Is there only one way to do it, by the way? No, but what's one way of somebody with the gift of mercy could use their gift? Being a what? Okay, being a nurse. So you could work that out in your regular daily life, in your life mission, so to speak. How about in the local church? What could you do in the local church? A local church ministry if you have a gift of mercy.
It's like the one in the hospital, or like the widows.
Okay, you could visit in the hospital. But in the gift of mercy, with the gift of mercy, they might have a special burden for children with cancer, say, for example. Now, I'm not saying that's all they have to visit, but maybe they have that special burden. Maybe somebody else with the gift of mercy will want to go to the nursing home, to the rest home, where the senior citizens. Maybe somebody with the gift of mercy will minister in children's church and teaching the children. So it's not like there's only one thing to do if you have a particular gift. Like if you have a gift of leadership, how could you exercise that gift if you have that gift? How could you work that out?
Leading a meeting.
Okay, you could lead any kind of ministry. You lead a men's fellowship or a women's fellowship, or you could lead teachers in a Sunday school, or you could lead in organizing activities for the church, or and then obviously you could work that out also in your job and have leadership ability of being a supervisor of some kind, Okay, so these are some of the spiritual gifts. Of course, Paul mentions others in 1 Corinthians chapter 12. Okay, let's go to verse 9. Now, from verse 9 through 21, I entitled this High Dimensions of Christ-like Living. Really, what we're talking about here is spirit-filled living, supernatural living. So notice how he's moving. He's starting with surrender to God, and then service in the body, and now a spirit-filled life. So it's living out our surrender and living out our ministry in the body with this supernatural power is really what this passage deals with. So let's start with Paris. Paris, could you please read verse 9? And what we're going to do, we're going to read the verse. I'm going to give you the blanks. I don't think I'm going to make too many comments, or if you have questions, you can make questions or comments also. But Paris, could you please read verse 9?
Let love be without dissimulation. Abhor that which is evil. Cleave to that which is good.
Okay, so what are the high dimensions? Number one, and I put it in the forms of questions, is our love genuine? Number one, is our love genuine? And that's without dissimulation. In other words, without any hypocrisy. Is it sincere? Is our love anahupokritos? Actually, our word hypocrite comes from that Greek word, doesn't it? Without hypocrisy. By the way, a hypocrite is a play actor. And it's easy, you know, the church is known for being a place of hypocrites, right? I'm not going to go to church. That's like one of the main attacks of the church. Why is that? Why do you think that is?
An excuse.
Okay, well, it's an excuse, but is there a truth to it? Yeah, because church is only for a couple hours. You could put on an act for a couple of hours. You can act like whatever you want for a couple of hours. Then you can go actually be what you really are for the rest of the week. So, but still, we go to church because we know we have problems and we're trying to work out and we're trying to learn and we fellowship. But obviously, there's wonderful people in the church, but the church is often known for being a place where there's not genuine love. So Paul says, let love be without dissimulation. Number two, are our moral standards holy? Abhor that which is evil. So letter A under that, we are to be disgusted at evil, shocked or horrified, that's the word. Abhor that which is evil. Be shocked at it. And then letter B, we are to be glued or cemented, cleave, that's the word cleave, to be literally glued to something. To what? To the good. Now, sometimes Christians who have high moral standards are accused of being legalists. Having a high moral standard is not legalism. Legalism is when I'm going to make that standard necessary for my salvation. Okay, that's legalism. If I say my standard, everybody has to keep this standard to be saved. If I start making that standard necessary for salvation or sanctification, then, I mean, there were numbers of things. I mean, things have changed a lot, quite honestly. You know, things have changed as far as standards. I'll just throw this out, but many Christians, for example, won't go to a movie theater. Now, many Christians do. Now, is it wrong if a Christian says, I don't think that I should go to a movie theater just because of its association, promotion, and I'm just not comfortable in there, and I would just rather not go to a movie theater? Are there Christians like that? Mm-hmm. Yes. Now, is that okay? Are you all right with that? Yes. And we don't have to call them a legalist, or you don't have to be a legalist to have that standard. It's a good standard, and you'll save some money along the way, you know. And if you want to watch a movie, just get out of Redbox for $1 or whatever. But the point is, sometimes we Christians, we have a way of like throwing arrows. Now, but then if I said, if you really are going to be a holy Christian, you can never go to a movie theater and make that a standard. Or if you're really saved, you wouldn't go to a movie. See, that's legalism.
Or when I try to impose my
Your standards.
Yes, my standard on others. Yes.
Right.
I don't go to the movies. If you go, you're doing bad because I
Right.
impose.
Right. And there's many things like that. Many things like that. So, but still, we should try to have standards of holiness in our dress. We should be modest, for example, and so forth. So, glued to good, disgusted at the evil. Verse 10. Let's go to Jeannie. Could you please read verse 10?
Be kindly affection one to another, with brotherly love, in honor, preferring one another.
Okay. So number 3, are our friendships special? Be kindly affection one to another. Not just the people of your own age. Reach out to someone older than you. Not just the people of your own ethnicity. Reach outside your comfort zone. No, sometimes people of a particular ethnic group are attracted to each other. That's okay as far as for friendships, but reach outside. Be kindly affection one to another with brotherly love. A family loyalty is the idea here. Brotherly love, Philadelphia. We need to put others first, esteem others as better than ourselves. Philippians chapter 2, verse 3, he says, in honor, preferring one another, to show honor to others and not seek personal honor. Okay? So, are our friendships special? There's a family love in the body of Christ. This is the idea. There's like a family spirit. Okay, verse 11. Colleen, could you please read that?
Not lagging in diligence, fervent in spirit, serving the Lord.
Okay, so number 4 is our service zealous. I read that and I read, what's the opposite of that? What's the opposite of verse 11? Laziness. You know that verse in Proverbs that says that the sluggard is like smoke in the eyes? You know that proverb? It talks about, you ever get smoke in your eyes? If there's ever like really irritating. So like a lazy person, the idea is he's like smoke in the eyes. It just irritates you. It's an irritation to be around somebody who just doesn't want to do anything ever, not slothful in business. Fervent, boiling passion, serving the Lord. Okay, verse 12, Christy, please.
Rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, continuing instant in prayer.
Okay, so the way I put that in number 5.5, is our spirituality authentic? And he lists a number of things there. Is our rejoicing with what? Confidence. Is our rejoicing with confidence? And that's the word hope. When he says rejoicing in hope. Now, the Bible word hope is not a weak word. It's not like, I'm rejoicing and I just hope I'm right. Okay? I just hope this really did rise again. I'm not sure, but I hope so. I'm holding on by a thread. Is that the Bible word hope? No, the word hope biblically is a strong confidence. It's the idea of a sure confidence. So when he says rejoicing in hope, that we rejoice with a boldness, a bold confidence. Is our suffering with endurance, and that's the word patience. And you know what changed my Bible study? Many years ago, I got the Vines Expository Dictionary of New Testament Words. And I don't use it much now because I think I've read it all like so many times, looking up all the words. But when I first found that was like a gold mine, the Vines Expository Dictionary of New Testament Words. And what I learned about Greek words is they are picturesque. They paint pictures. So this word patience, the Greek word is hupomino. And mino is abide, and hupo is under. So the idea of patience is to abide under. And I picture like a boulder, okay, on top. And you're abiding under a boulder, a weight. So that's the idea of hupomeno, of patience, of endurance. And so that's why he says there, patient, abiding under tribulation. What did Paul say? The Christian life is easy? It says that, how are we going to enter God's kingdom? Through much tribulation. Okay, so is our suffering with endurance? Is our praying without ceasing? That's letter C. Is our praying without ceasing? Continuing instant in prayer. So that's verse 12. Authentic spirituality. Number 6, Anna, could you read verse 13, please?
Distributing to the needs of the saint, given to hospitality.
Okay, so number 6 is our giving personal and practical. He says, distributing to the necessity of saints. Now, who's a saint? A dead person? Who's a saint? Colleen, who's a saint? All of us. All of who? Yeah. Everyone who is in Christ is a saint. I always got, I read that the Catholic Church was thinking about making a person a saint, and they exhumed his bones. That just really struck me. They had to exhume a person's bones to determine, make a final determination whether to give saint. I was like, wow, isn't that something? Is that Jesus makes us saints when we're alive, They don't have to exhume our bones. Saint is somebody who's in Jesus. But so here he says, give to who? To the saints, to the necessity, to the needs of the saints. Now, so who are those people? Are those strangers, or are those your brothers and sisters? Those are your brothers and sisters. Do good to all men, Paul says, but especially to those who are what? Of the household of faith. And I believe the idea here is, where he says distribute to the necessity of the saints, is you give to your brothers and sisters, because many people have needs, but the need that your brother or sister has, and you can meet that in a specific way. We could try to help as many people as we possibly can, but I believe the priority is to the household of the faith. And then given to hospitality, what does that mean? Hospitality. Use hospitality, Peter says, without grudging. What do you think? Where do you use hospitality? Where do you show hospitality? Huh? Not in New York City. What do you open up to show hospitality? Your home. What's a good place to open up, especially in your home? Your refrigerator. In other words, have somebody over for a meal, or, one thing we're going to try to do more of, and we've done a little bit of this, have some of the teenagers over to our house and try to build a relationship with them and show hospitality to them, and it's a blessing. It really is. When you give, you get joy when you give. And like if maybe a missionary needs a place to stay, we've had missionaries stay in some of our homes, and it's a blessing to have God's people in our home. And believe me, when you have somebody in your home, what do you always tell them? Make yourself at home. Why do you tell them? You don't want to make it feel like they're being a weight. Oh man, I can't wait till you go, There's an old saying, after 3 days, fish and friends stink. You've heard that, but some people make it after 3 minutes. No. So without, hospitality. Okay, verse 14 and 15. Edgar, could you please read verse 14 and 15?
Bless them which persecute you. Bless and curse not. Rejoice with them that do rejoice, and weep with them that weep.
Okay, so number 7, are our emotions godly? Can we say a good word to those who curse us? Our boss, co-workers. Do we blow up and get angry? Can we celebrate with those who rejoice, or are we envious when other people, are excelling and maybe they even got what you wanted and you didn't get it, and you were like, wow, rejoice, and then weep with those who weep. I'm going to do a message in a couple weeks. I was thinking about doing it this Sunday, but I think I'm going to put it off. But I want to do a message about living out the gospel in the context of social media. Because this is a huge issue with us today. You know how many people are on Facebook? 1.7 billion people. I don't know how many people live in China, but there might be more people in China than that. But other than that, Facebook is like one of the biggest nations in the world. And that's just Facebook, not including, you know, Twitter and Instagram and whatever else is out there. But I thought of this: bless them which persecute you. In other words, don't get into angry, nasty fights, you know, on social media. You know, it's just not worth it. So anyway, that was free. Verse 16, Audrey?
Be of the same mind one toward another. Mind not high things, but condescend to men of low estate.
Okay.
Not wise in your own conceits.
Okay, so is our thinking with humility? That's the blank there, point 8. Number 8 is our thinking with humility. Be of the same mind. What? It's hard to be of the same mind, one with another. What does it mean, mind not high things?
Be proud.
Okay. Don't think you're better than others, or don't gravitate to others who you think, if I could be around them, then, you know, I'll be impressive to other people. But maybe go to the person who is weak, or go to the person who's poor and show love. Don't mind just the people who have it all together, but look at the person who's lonely and reach out to that person too. That's at least what he might be saying there. Are we without prejudice? Do we work along with people who are considered unimportant in the world's value system? Are we proud over our own accomplishments? Those are some of the questions I have there. Okay, verses 17 to 21. Where are we at next here on our reading? Esther, did you read, Audrey?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Esther, we're up to you, right? Could you read verses 17 to 21, please?
Recompense to no man evil for evil. Provide things honest in the sight of all men. If it is be possible, as much as lieth in you, live peaceably with all men. Dearly beloved, avenge not yourself, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord. Therefore, if thine enemy hunger, feed him. If he thirst, give him drink. For in so doing, thou shalt heap coals of fire on his head. Be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good.
Okay, so number 9 is, are we overcoming evil in ways pleasing to God? I spoke to a man recently who was going to have a meeting with another officer in his company, and he was really upset. He thought he was going to say something, do something to this guy. He was so angry that was going to get him fired. I said, what you ought to do is like overcome whatever evil you think he's done with good. Buy him like a Baby Ruth bar. That's like my favorite candy bar, so that's what I thought of. But, or buy him a candy bar, buy him a tie or something, you know, give him a gift. And, you know, overcome evil with good. That's the Christian way to do it. You don't curse those who curse. When somebody curses you out, do you curse back? No, you bless them. So we have to overcome. That's what he says here at verse 21. Overcome. Do not be overcome of evil. When we're overcome of evil, we retaliate in kind. We overcome evil with good. That's Christ-like. So resist revenge, recompense to no man evil for evil. Letter B, show sincerity. Provide things honest in the sight of all men. Plan it in advance, provide. Think about it, think it through is the idea there. Provide things honest. Plan for things honest in the sight of all men. Live peaceably. Verse 18, he says, is it possible to have peace with everybody? No, but at least try. It's like, so, and sometimes if you feel that, you know, this person, I just keep running into a wall and we just keep conflicting, you know, treat them like a brother, or if they're saved, or a sister, let's say they're in the church. But, you know, if there's just a constant conflict, just try to keep you may have to keep your distance from them, you know, but as much as lieth winded.
What if they're not saved? What is our responsibility?
If they're not saved, I think our responsibility is to try to, you know, share Christ with them when we're able, you know, but you know, there is an expression, burn me once, shame on you. Burn me twice, shame on me. You know, and again, I don't want to like that thing too far either, but I think we do have to learn, you know, just in a practical sense, our interactions with people. But on the other hand, if somebody's not saved, whatever hurt they do to us, we should always keep in mind that without Christ, they'll die and go to hell. And so we still pray for their salvation. And if somebody's not saved and they're treating you in a way that is unchristian, well, guess what? They're not a Christian. So don't expect an unsaved person to act like a Christian. We barely act like Christians the way we ought to sometimes, you know? So I think we need to be patient with all people for sure. But if it be possible, as much as lieth in you, live peaceably with all men. Now, don't use that as an excuse either to just like avoid everybody, you know, because, you know, on the other extreme, let's say you have a conflict with somebody, you know, and I thought about this actually recently, is like if somebody has a conflict with one person, they have a conflict with another person, they're like, well, I don't want to go around that person. Oh, I don't want to go around that person. And then they're walking to church. Church has become like a minefield, you know? It's like, oh, it's like, oh, there they are. I'm going to go this way. Oh, now you know, so church is not like, you know, it's not a minefield that you should be avoiding everybody that you see either, you know? So we have to be careful with that. So avenge not yourself. That's from the Old Testament. Do not take revenge. Turn the other cheek is the teaching of Jesus on that, about revenge, of not taking revenge. And that letter D is refuse to do God's job, taking revenge. And in the next chapter, we're going to actually see that God takes revenge through just rulings of government. And so, like, if somebody, you know, commits a crime against me, I can't just go out and take revenge for that, right? Then I would be committing a crime. If somebody stole my car, for example, and they committed a crime, I was like, they stole my car, I'm gonna burn their house down, you know? Okay, so if I burn their house down, I'm committing a crime. So I can't take revenge. But if somebody steals my car, I have to go through the legal system that we have here and hope for justice. Vengeance is mine, I will repay. So ultimately, vengeance is God's job. So we refuse to do God's job. We respond with compassion. So do not merely cease negative reactions, do something positive, and the result is you will heap coals of fire upon their head. The Lord shall reward thee. I don't fully know what that means. There could be some kind of a social custom, the coals of fire. One commentary I have, it says that the coals of fire, does anybody know about the coals of fire? You know about that?
I heard about somebody coming through with coals and then giving it to people who needed to start a fire in their homes. And so it was really blessing them,
okay,
rather than cursing them.
Okay. It could be. It could be that who give, where is it now? If your enemy hunger, feed him. If he thirst, give him to drink. For in so doing, thou shalt heap coals of fire on his head. Whereas it's true back in the day when, I mean, we could just go turn our stove on, you know, and it click, 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 and we have fire. But if there's no fire in your house, maybe that would be something that would be a blessing for somebody to have. It could be. In Egypt, I read this, a custom was that a person, to show public contrition, would carry a pan